Hi everybody, welcome to Castor'sCorner.com. I'm your host Cleo, here for another toy of the day, here on our YouTube channel. Excuse me. You can go to Castor'sCorner.com for a full gallery of this figure, as well as following us on Castor'sCorner.com, checking out the Cornercast podcasts. We are coming back very soon, so catch up on old episodes and check out all of our links below. You can get a cool shirt like this. So what do we got for you today? Well, we picked up, currently in the white box, it took a little bit of balancing, the Disney Toybox, Capt Carter and Hydra Stomper. And it is a gorgeous piece. And the fun thing is about it is I'm actually taking a picture right now because this took a little bit of balancing. Sorry. Because it took me about 15 minutes to balance this out. It took a little bit of balancing to get her to kind of fit. And it's not a knock on it necessarily. It's just that as a kid's toy, I wish it was a little bit better designed. This was a 2-pack. They actually did something better than the Legends versions did that we'll be taking a look at in the next couple weeks. Because I actually have the Legends Stomper right here, and I'll do a close up of that later on. But they did something a little bit better than Legends, and I'm going to talk about it for sure. And I'll show you just the size difference from those of you wondering if the Toybox version, because I was wondering if the Toybox version would kind of fit with Legends, and you can see. There's definitely a major size difference there, and for a Legends figure next to it, you can see that it's not bad, it's not horrible, but Capt Carter is much taller than this figure, so she's gonna be eye to eye with it. So I don't think it would actually work with the actual Capt Carter. Definitely still need to use the Legends version. For sure. So get yours if you can. So what do we got here? So this Hydra Stomper, I think it's a really fun idea. We first saw it kind of premiere a few weeks ago on a Shop Disney email, and then wasn't available for a while. I kept checking back at least a month, I want to say, because the announcement came out when the first episode of What If came out. And then we heard nothing. And with the lack of Disney stores nationwide for most of us, online was the only option we were going to get. So here it is. I enjoy it. I think it's fun. I think there are a few issues with it as a toy that when I opened it, I was like, oh. But then there are a few positives too. So first of all, his backpack is removable, so you can kind of get her on there, without having to keep it on the figure. And actually, this peg and this peg hole, they're not long enough, to be honest with you. These really should have been longer, or there should have been a clip versus kind of just a push in, because it does fall off rather easily, especially with the extra weight of Capt Carter on the back of it. So posing her out, it kind of kept falling off, so I had to do this independently. What I will say about it is, and this is the improvement, this is what they did better than Legends. I understand Legends was going for aesthetics, this was going for practicality. I wish they had both done something slightly different, but so what they did well here is they gave her foot pegs to work off of, so she does clip in there. So much better than the Legends version. But as far as this backpack go, there is really no articulation to it. These small pieces do turn. I'm not sure if they're supposed to. They do kind of flip up here. I'm not sure if that's a function of being loose or what, or even what they would actually kind of do for you. But it is a separate piece. But as you can see, it's not that well connected. It kind of just pops right off. So any kind of weight or movement on the figure, this just pops right off. It's a shame, too, because it's a really nice piece. I don't really want to glue it in place, but having her on the back or posing this out, this tends to fall off pretty easily. So that's one of the negatives for it. The other negative is there is a lack of articulation on the Stomper. He does have knees that bend pretty well. There's no rocker ankles, and there's no real ankle movement, just side to side. So you can adjust the posing a little bit, but not too much. Hands as well. There's just kind of side to side with both hands. There's not any kind of wrist articulation other than kind of, even though it looks like it was from the look of the wrist, there is that hinge inside. But I haven't been able to move mine at all, and I'm actually afraid to kind of snap it. And not being able to go to a Disney store and return it and get a new one kind of makes me not want to push the boundaries of what this is. He does have the ladder on the front, just like the big boy version. The ladder rungs are a little bit tighter, a little bit closer. Peggy can grab on and look like she's climbing or sitting on the front, sort of. They're not that big of ladder rungs. And he does have the weapons on the wrists and the tire treads on this one. So, I mean, overall, aesthetically, it's a really nice piece to have. He also does light up, lights and sounds. So, powering up the rockets. I think powering up the weapons. So there's some fun sounds there. And then, of course, it opens up to reveal a little Steve inside. And the sounds still work when it's... And you can see where the lights are on either side. So a little mini Steve Rogers kind of sitting with like his arm on the outside of it. It's a fun feature that I wish the Hasbro Marvel Legends version had. Elbows can kind of come up about halfway for a bicep curl, but it cannot move side to side because of the curve of it. So it kind of fits right in, and even though you can twist it, it doesn't twist because it's kind of like stuck in place. He does pop down so when you push this down, it does push on it. So just be wary of that if you've got repeated movement or repeated opening for your kids, Steve is probably going to end up bald at some point because it's the constant motion of hitting that top of the head and pushing it down. But I think overall it does what it needs to do. It's a really nice display piece for sure. And as a bonus, you get a cap. Let's not put that on the microphone. You get a Captain Carter figure. She is taller than the average Toybox figure, so she kind of continues that statuesque look. She does have the Disney princess eyes. So she does look like a Disney princess character. She definitely fits in the Toybox line. She comes with her Union Jack shield there. It does not, so it can clip onto her back. It does have a peg for that, so she can wear it there. Mine has a little scuff on it, but it came like that. The problem is, it's your standard shield. They didn't give her her own shield. This is the same shield we've seen with Captain America and other characters. There's the problem. The clip itself is made for a male figure's wrist. It is not made for a female figure's wrist. So it just kind of falls off very, very easily. And so you're kind of forced to stretch out the hands and have her actually hold on to the back peg versus having it clipped on. It does give you better placement for her to hold it and pose with it. But over time, it's going to really crack that hand. So, and if you actually wanted to clip it, I think you'd have to clip it for it to be secure on her upper bicep, almost at her shoulder. That is the most secure place, and that clearly does not look good. So, there's that issue as well. You might be able to get it around the elbow, but even that's a little bit loose. But it's, again, does not look great because her hand is kind of sticking out the bottom. So for me, it's definitely not a wrist connection because it's just so flimsy. She's definitely going to hold it if I have her pose for it. But she's got the 40s hair. She's got the big eyes like a Disney princess. And she's got some loose joints. They're not the greatest. She is a little flimsy, but I mean, the Toybox line overall, I think, has improved since it started like 4 or 5 years ago. But there are still some places where there's some inconsistencies with the joints and things like that. But as a gift set, as a box set, I think this is one of the better ones they've done. Even with some of the criticism that I've had, I think for sure that Peggy and Steve here, minus the slight issues, is one of the better things you did. You didn't have to buy this and then buy this, or buy this and then get this with her, because they've done that before, where you get one and then but you want the other of the team, and you have to then go back and rebuy the same figure again to get the bigger piece for it. So I applaud them for doing it all at once and not making us buy two. So that is definitely a positive. I wish she was not as floppy as she is, but again, it's Toybox. It's to be expected a little bit as far as the quality goes. It's hit or miss. But I think it's definitely worth it. So if you can shop Disney, it's up now. They usually have a holiday sale, but they've been selling out pretty quick. So I was able to pick up that and the spider sets and the Razor Crest. So I was able to get free shipping. But you can still get this. It's still available on Shop Disney. So go to castorscorner.com for a full gallery of this figure, or these figures for both of them. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that. We're at Castor's Corner. Check out the Cornercast podcast up on Apple Podcasts. New episodes coming soon. So catch up on old episodes and hit the subscribe button. The more of you that subscribe, the more cool things we get to do, and then we get to share them with you. And we really appreciate all the support there. So as we say every night, Jackson, we miss you and we love you and we miss you. We wish you were here. But for those of you coming back tomorrow for another toy of the day, I honestly have a room full of toys and still recovering from PulseCon, so I'm not sure what's tomorrow. But it might be a Toybox, it might be a Legends. We got Fantastic Four, we got new archive from Star Wars, we've got Jurassic Park. We have so much to take a look at over the next couple weeks, and everything up on that shelf as well, from the Shark to the Slave One to the Daily Bugle, and of course the Ark. So, and this big guy back here hasn't been seen yet. But anyway, so I'm just kind of vamping on. So have a good night. We will see you tomorrow for another toy of the day here on castorscorner.com. Have a good night, everybody.